What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, a brand new episode of Hollywood Tales from Jam in the Van Studios. My name is Ahmed Ahmed. Here's my co-host.
Blake Barty, how's it going?
And if you had never been to Jam in the Van, it's a really, really fun multiplex. I'll tell you about it a little later, but I want to introduce our awesome guest, Brandon Johnson, in the house.
Thank you. Both you guys are great.
Brandon and I met. I'll just get right into it. Brandon and I met. So we run this little comedy show at a place called Cruisers Bar. It's in Huntington Beach. It's 215 5th Street, Huntington Beach. It's a cool little Chicago-style sports bar, and they have a little stage with a sound system, and we just started doing stand-up comedy there on Thursdays. And Brandon walked in one night, and, you know, I don't know if he can stand or not, if it's going to go out of frame. He's tall. You were 6'7"? 6'6"?
I wish I wouldn't be here. I was 6'7".
What are you, 6'6"?
6'5".
Are you 6'5"?
6'5".
For some reason, I'm 6'2", but when I stand next to you, I'm like, you know, I feel like you're much taller.
He carries himself.
It's the dark shadow, you know. It's like the dark, you know, it's the shadow, the darkness. You just don't know where I'm at.
And you were kicking it at the bar, and I think maybe you were talking to a girl. I had a girl with you and some friends or whatever. But I
I
remember
was shooting my shot, you know. I was applications, just filling out applications, you know.
he was watching the show, and I guess somebody told you that I ran it, and I walked by you, and you go, yo, I want to go up. Just like that.
I remember that night. You were a little tipsy.
No, I loved at first I was off put by like the confidence, you know, but then I was just like, all right, this guy thinks he can handle himself, because I think I said, you know, I asked, I can't remember what I asked you. How many times have you done stand up before or something like that? And I was just like, you know what, fuck it, because the Cruisers comedy show, it's kind of like a little bit of a, it's free to get in, and it's a little bit of it's a bar show, so it's kind of loose. It's loose. It's a little bit of a shit show sometimes. And then you went up and you killed, like you had a really good set, and I was like, wow, this guy like can handle himself as a comic. And so from that point on, that was your second time?
That was my first time.
That was your first time?
Yeah.
See, so you lied to me.
Yeah, that was my first time. I couldn't tell you that was my first time. I can't go like, yo, I want to just interrupt your show. I got an idea. Give me a shot. You know,
I think your charisma was kind of what, you know, got me. Sometimes you can just tell people like, all right, even if they don't have jokes or it's not funny, charisma can take you a long way. I mean, look at my career. I mean,
well, the way you carry yourself, you know, you're very.
No, you got swag.
Charismatic.
You got swag.
You guys just be real, but like, I just don't want an angry 6'5" black man in Huntington Beach.
So how did you end up in Huntington?
Oh man, I got a divorce.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were married.
Yeah. Well, it was short, you know. I mean, she didn't like me or some of my ideas, and it was just better to.
Where were you before Huntington?
Newport.
Oh,
so across the street.
And what about before that?
Divorce, okay.
You know.
And what about before Newport?
I was in the Central Coast working in the aerospace industry, so San Luis Obispo.
But you're California born and raised?
Absolutely not. Chicago.
Oh,
South side of Chicago.
That's right.
Yes.
You told me that. When did you get to Cali?
Oh man, I've been in Cali like 9 years now.
Oh, okay. I love Chicago, man. Aside from the winters, that's like one of my favorite cities in the whole wide world.
It's good.
That's
food.
a fun city, man.
It's cold though.
The culture, you know what I mean? And you can walk around anywhere and just run into it and bump into that energy, right?
And you were on the south side of Chicago?
Yeah.
Was that a little bit more rougher than like the sort of suburban neighborhoods? Or?
Well, I am actually, I could say Joliet. You know, I don't know, want to date myself, but the Blues Brothers, Joliet Jake.
Okay.
I'm from Joliet.
Okay.
So it's actually south of Chicago, but no one knows Joliet. But growing up there is equivalently to being in the South Side. I mean, it's majority black, you know, and things like that.
Right.
Segregated like everything else, you know, based on demographics and, you know, financially where we're at.
And did you have siblings?
Yeah, I have a sister. My dad was married twice for my mom, kind of a little bit of a Rolling Stone. So I have 8 sisters total.
Oh,
you know, I mean 9, including my full
Damn.
sister. Yeah, married twice. Yeah, he met
I have 4 sisters. And I thought that was a lie. 9?
2 sets of twins in there. So
Bro,
I have one brother.
That's crazy. Do you all get along?
Let's just say we talk when we have to talk.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I'm the black sheep, literally the black sheep of the family. I'm the only one. I have an uncle in Long Beach. You know,
Right.
I'm pretty close to my uncle.
So let's just talk about. Let's fast forward to your producing side.
Okay.
Right. So you're working as a producer now. Was that something that you thought you always wanted to do, or did something lead you into that?
Oh man, I enjoy entertainment. Like I enjoy movies, and it's producing is such a thing where you're like, I don't think I can do this. I wouldn't even know where to start, right? But when you're here, you have friends that are inspiring actors and actresses, and they're saying they're in the industry, and you don't know what's going on. So I had a few bucks, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to invest in this project.
Right? What were you doing before that?
Working in the aerospace industry, managing the profit and loss sheet, so P&L. So,
and what was your? You went to college?
yeah, I actually finished with a degree in criminal justice.
Oh, interesting.
You know, Hollywood Tales got a good one. You know, Mav Carter is LeBron James' executive producer and business partner.
Okay.
I went to college with him, played basketball with
What
him.
school?
Western Michigan University.
Oh, okay.
And then Mav walked off the basketball court, and our coach was like, "That's gonna be the richest dude you've ever met that didn't finish college." And he's probably
Right.
I mean, he's doing his thing. I mean,
up
they
there.
did Space Jams. I mean, they're doing some pretty powerful stuff
Right.
at Spring Hill, right?
Yeah.
So
you got a degree in criminal justice.
yeah,
And then you went to go work for an aerospace company.
Yeah,
As a, what was it?
program manager.
Program manager.
Yeah. So my buddy was always shocked that I know how to read and write, and so, and then I'm pretty decent at math. So it just all worked out, and managing people and just the project. So let's say Boeing builds an airplane, right? They are the OEM, right? They're building the plane, but they have to buy the materials to build this plane
Right.
from other smaller vendors. So I've always worked at a vendor for Boeing or Airbus.
Got it.
Right.
You're
so
like the middleman, kind of.
oh, always the middleman.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
threesomes,
what
whatever it is.
producers
I'm
are.
usually the middleman. You know.
Right. Shaking hands, kissing babies, writing checks. And
so,
then, so you worked for them for what? How many years?
about 8 years.
And then you quit, and
Yeah.
probably had like a little savings to live on.
Exactly.
And then you went in, and then you.
It's like
started
I'm
winning.
going in,
Right. Going all in.
all in, because you started seeing the things happen where you're reading the news and they're saying, well, we would hire minorities if we had minorities in this position.
Right.
So I'm like, all
in
right,
that
well, I'm gonna
position.
put myself in this position,
Sure.
right? And this is an opportunity for me to learn. But nobody wanted to hire me, so I'm like, I can do this on my own,
Right.
right?
You want to act as well, or you do act.
I would act. I do act.
You don't really care about acting,
It's
like
it's
just being in front of the camera and playing a
that-
character.
yeah, that's cool,
It
right?
does. It doesn't spark your.
It's
your
cool.
interest.
I would do it. It'd be fun, right? But I understand what it takes to make a project happen, and I'm all about the greater good, right? So let's
So
just
let
say,
Denzel play my part.
yeah, if it's Denzel,
If we
let
can
Denzel
get him
out.
to sell
Yeah,
the
I couldn't
movie.
afford Denzel. I mean, but I mean, if you want to work for free or a few bucks, I got him, right?
So you produced. I'm stumbling. You produced your first feature film.
Correct.
Recently.
Yes.
And let's talk about that. What was the name of it again?
The Chimera Effect.
That's right. And,
Yeah.
it's out right now, or no?
No, we actually were in the middle of
Or
distribution
there's a
deal.
premiere you just saw. I saw.
Yeah,
You've been
so
just going around winning award.
we're
after award
film
after
festivals.
award.
Hopefully, we just got another one here.
So tell us how you got attached to that. What's the movie about?
All right, so let's start with the movie, how the movie came about. So I have a buddy that's a writer, and two buddies that's a writer, and I said, hey, you guys write this film. I need it to be a small or a single location. I need the locations to be limited, so that's going to save on money there. And I want a female-led film because that's what's hot right now is female-led films. And I want it to be a psychological thriller, so something that we can, you
So
know.
no story. Basically, you checked off a bunch of boxes and said, location wise, I need this. It's funny how you just explained that. It's almost like working backwards
Absolutely.
a little bit, you know.
So
and
so
getting-
you let those guys go paint and draw, and so then they deliver a script that's like 100. You know, every one page is a minute on camera, right?
and why psychological thriller? Was that your idea?
Yeah, because you can insulate it. It's so many people that just saying, "Ooh, that looks interesting." You know, get out,
Right.
change the game, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Inception.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like, and so you're not spending all the money on visual effects and
Right.
sci-fi and things like that, costumes, and so, you give the writers these guidelines, right? And so the beauty about it, after the script's done, it goes into the brain trust, and so that's me and the entire producing team, and we just start redlining and slashing, and this is what we need, this is what we can do, and we try to tighten up the script, right? And once the script is tight, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go get the money now. So let's go get the money and talk to some investors.
So you have people working on spec.
Correct.
Like basically saying, hey, if I get the money, I'll pay you for your work in advance.
No.
Kind of
I
You
raised,
hired them.
everyone's paid. I don't owe anybody anything.
Got it. But once you got the script tight, then you got
So once I get the script tight,
additional money.
Exactly. Once I have the script tight, I'm like, okay, I can sell this because I can look at the script and I can say, all right, it's going to take me about $500,000 to produce this, right? So a $500,000 film in this market with all the online platforms, right? Give it time, it's that money safe, especially if it's something that, hey, I would watch that. It's a psychological thriller. It's
and cheap to make.
Exactly.
Right. That's why like psychological thrillers, horror movies, that's why they make so much money because they don't cost a lot.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And so, where'd you find these writers? Where'd you find this team?
So my boy was an actor, and that's why I said I was always like, wow. And I just would watch people career and not take the right steps in my mind because everybody think they want something and doesn't understand how they put in the work. Like, Ahmed, I want a shot. I want to be on stage, right? And
Ahmed,
I don't show.
Ahmad Rashad. Ahmed. I like Ahmed Ahmed.
My bad, Ahmed.
You're rebranding,
As long as
You know
I'm
what?
knowing
I'm
I've been
gonna
messing up this
start
man's
calling
name.
myself Ahmed
See?
Ahmed.
You know, if I get him upset, he could blow something up, man. Literally.
Hey, you get
Right.
you got Ahmed Ahmed.
She's a model.
So, but it's so many people that's saying they want this shot, and they're not doing anything to do
They're
it.
not doing the work.
Everybody's talking when they're drunk and they don't want to do the work. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Same
just
thing
think I'm.
over and over. I have a lot of friends that do the same shit over and over, and you know.
But they say to you like, I can do it too, but they're not doing
Exactly.
any
Like,
of
they
it,
say
right?
to do it just like stand up. Oh, I could do it. I'm gonna write some jokes for you tomorrow.
Oh, that
Okay.
happens. That's
Yeah,
been
I'm
happening
sure.
a lot lately
I'm
too.
sure.
For some reason, that's been happening
Send
a lot.
them over. We'll check them out.
What? So you go and you raise the money,
Mm-hmm.
right? You go and find investors that you know, or like how does that? Walk your people through the process of like.
How do you get a movie made?
Yeah. So you.
Well, no. So part of it was you got you
So
insulated.
now I have a PDF file, I call it, because if I say script, everyone's like, my script is worth $3 million, right? No, it's a PDF file. It's some words on a piece of paper, right? I now have to convince people that this PDF, right? I got to monetize this. Now this PDF can make money. So how do we do it? All right, guys, what I'm going to do is my buddy, which is a close friend that I trust, that I have a relationship with, he's going to direct it. I'm going to give a director, an opportunity to see what he can do, right?
That's always a good sell,
Right.
Right.
So that's a sell, right? Right. And so then
now they have to fund you.
well, no, they don't have to do anything. I mean, okay, this true story is like, so I said, I've been called racist. And so I've been working on myself because this is what I said. I said, they haven't had one white male invest in one of my projects. And this is a fact. This is it's not, I mean, till this day. Right?
So who are you going to? Just black? I mean, just
No,
black
everyone.
but just not white people.
Everyone. No, I've pitched
But I'm saying,
to
but like
everyone.
who? I'm just curious. Like, are you cold calling people, or are these like relationships that you have with rich people? I'm just curious. Like,
Not cold calling, but listen to all the avenues we got. LinkedIn,
Right.
right? Between LinkedIn,
Right.
social media platforms, just at the gym, people I've mingled with that I
Right.
know are financially in a good position, right?
My buddy was talking about. Sorry to interrupt. My buddy was talking about one time how he pulls chicks off of social media, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and I'm like, if you think you're that good, can you pull anybody off of LinkedIn?
I'm sure it's happened.
If you can pull a chick off of
Offer them a
LinkedIn,
fucking job.
no, but then you have bragging rights. You're like, my bitch got a job. She bought me dinner last night.
But what are you pulling off LinkedIn? Because the headshots. I mean,
That's-
working
no,
on
you-
just
yeah,
headshots,
you
bro.
can't- yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I'm
come
saying.
on, that's scary. I mean, that's rolling the dice. I mean, you
Better
getting
than
that?
Nadia.
So through the network, you find some people that show interest financially. They don't really give a fuck about the movie, right? They just want to see the return, the return on investment, right? Most people.
Some people are care.
Most people just want to see the return on investment, bro. Is this gonna make my money back?
Absolutely.
Right.
But they have to believe that you can do it.
Right. You have to execute it.
So again, I'm walking in, and the only thing I can stand on is like, hey, look at my career path, man. Like, I manage projects for Airbus and Boeing. That's like
Huge
1.5 million,
Yeah,
and I got
bragging
20
rights.
airplanes. Like, I can do this. Like, what's 500K? But you'll be shocked. A lot of people are like, no, come on. So I was like, okay, I'll put my own money into it, and you back some of my own money.
You back your bet.
Right.
And so you're saying, hey, I'm going to put this much in, and you guys match it.
Right.
And that tells you how much I'm invested in this.
Exactly. And then they ask, what do you do for them? I'm like, no, this is it.
Right.
Like, I don't do anything else. Like, I have no plan B.
So this was your first film.
Yeah. I invested in some films, right? And they were falling apart because the creative person didn't understand the financial aspects of their decisions. Like, I had a person invest in the film, walk me through the Biltmore, that we're going to rent a ballroom in the Biltmore, and he's going to put a waterfall in it for one scene, right? And I'm like, what are you talking about? This is an independent film.
Yeah.
Who wants to put okay,
Yeah,
who's
how
in
much
this
does that
movie?
Not
cost?
a Michael Bay film.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's where some people start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I can control this if I control it, right? Because I see the vision. So if I can show you I can do a $500,000 film and be profitable, what happens if you give me $1 million?
Right.
What if you give me 2? What if you give me 3?
Then you can spend a little bit more money.
Right.
on
Your boy that's
production
an
and
actor,
talent.
did you put him in the film?
He's directing it. He had a small.
You have
small
a
And what's
portion.
his name?
Carlos Butler.
I'm sorry?
Carlos Butler. He's a black man named Carlos Butler.
Carlos or Carlo?
Carlos.
Carlos Butler.
Yes.
So we'll find him on IMDb.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
So dude, all right. So hold on. So is the movie? It's not out yet. You're saying?
No, it's not out.
And tell us a little bit about it, because I'm.
There is a trailer though, right?
It's a trailer. So
We can
I'm in the
look the
middle of a
trailer up.
I'm in the middle of a distribution deal right now. It looks like I'm going to sign it as soon as my lawyers continue to work through it, all the details, right?
What's
And,
the premise of the film?
So it's a girl that psychologically her life is like falling apart. Right?
Sounds like all my ex-girlfriends.
Exactly, right? So exactly, right? So yeah, you know Justin Bobby is from the Hills, MTV guy
Okay.
from the Hills, right? He's a buddy of mine. I've known him about 15 years.
I've seen the show, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, you're not doing anything right now. Come be in my movie, and here's a 6-pack and a few bucks. And he's like, dope, B, let's do it. I want to do a film.
And when you say a few bucks, like I don't want you to disclose. Is it it's a SAG film, right?
Exactly.
So they'd have.
He got more than the minimum.
Got
He
it.
didn't get MTV money.
Got it.
But he got money.
Got it. Okay. That's
Put
fair.
it this way, he's claiming it.
Sure. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
He's claiming it on tax. Everyone's claiming their money on taxes.
Right.
So it worked out where I'm like, okay, now I have a name within my budget.
Right.
I mean, so I'm offering for one day to shoot, I'm offering like names, like big names. I'm going after like Taraji P. Henson. I mean, I'm going after names. I'm like $20,000 for one day, 6 hours, no callback. Like, who are you? Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like you hearing these stories and you're living it and you're like, oh my God, like
They're
this
like,
is
I just sang someone happy birthday for 50,000.
right.
Talk to you
Exactly. And you're like,
We just saw
man.
50 Cent in Miami at a nightclub a couple weeks ago. I was like, he must have got paid $100K for
Yeah,
this.
38
Easily.
seconds to walk through.
And he sung, I think, 1 or 2 songs and left.
He at least sung. I seen 50 Cent. I went to see 50. He didn't even get up out of VIP.
And he got paid for
And
that.
he got paid. Like, I was like, yo.
I want to do that. I want like rapper money. I think I got in the wrong business, bro.
But we're
No.
doing podcasts.
Now we're
We
doing-
have
now
a
we're
website.
doing
Who invested in your
podcasts.
project yet?
No, okay, so back to it. I said, no white males ever invested. And I said this because I was upset and I went to this angel investor event and I'm listening to these guys pitch. And of course, I'm like the only piece of chocolate sitting in this event, right? And I'm like, man, like this is crazy. Like this dude just got like 5 million because he can tell you the patterns of where the bees are going. Like bzzz, like the bees, bro.
Hey, they're endangered, right?
They're endangered, right? He got 5 million. This guy's like, yo, I just need
Bees are part of the ecosystem. You got to protect the
You
bees.
gotta pollinate.
You know what? That's what I should have gotten into. Fucking the bee business, man. Fuck. It's not too late. It's not too late.
And so I was out of frustration. I said this as I'm driving home to the person that's with me. And so then 2 months later, she goes, you know, you're racist. You said no white man is ever in bed. I said, but that's a fact. I said, I'm like, I went to an event and I'm watching guys throw money at things. I mean, a sound bar. He's not Sony. This guy pitched a sound bar, right? That does nothing different than any other sound bar, but it's his sound bar and it's going to be better.
You should call Steven Spielberg.
He wouldn't take my call or my email.
He'll take my call.
Oh,
Get Spielberg on the phone. Damn it.
So,
You know, Amistad? Isn't that?
yeah.
Isn't the
He's
producers
some good
black
movies.
on that one? I don't know.
You know, so it was
Denzel?
I'm still trying to get. So many people have so
Get
many.
get me Denzel Washington.
Call him, please.
Ahmed, don't you know Denzel? Or
I met him
you worked
once.
with him once.
I met him once. Maybe we might be able to throw. I have a
That should be
picture.
the Hollywood tale.
I have a picture, Wolf. I have a picture of me and Denzel. Remember the film Virtuosity with Russell Crowe?
So you know who directed that?
Yeah.
Brett Leonard?
Yeah, Brett Leonard. Yeah.
That's who's a producer on my first film.
Oh shit!
And so he's directing.
Tell him I said what's up.
I actually had a
I got
meeting
my
with
SAG.
Brett
I got my
today.
SAG card on that movie.
Dope.
It's true story. I'll tell you how I got that part. Here's a good Hollywood story. There used to be this American
Hollywood
Indian.
tale.
Here's a Hollywood tale. Sorry. There used to be this really. When I first moved to Hollywood, I became friends with Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn's sister was and still is very spiritual girl, and like she's into like tarot cards and Indian sweat lodges, and she's very, very like very what do you call it? She's very spiritual, like on a higher frequency kind of thing, And she used to go to these sweat lodges in Malibu. You drive up in the hills of Malibu, and it was all these like producers and directors and like high up people in Hollywood who would go into this Indian sweat lodge. Maybe like sometimes it would be 10 people, sometimes 30. And it's the traditional thing with the blankets, and there's a fire pit, and they put the hot stones in there, and they put the water, and it starts in the sage and the cobalt, and it starts to steam, and everybody starts chanting, and it's like crazy. You start sweating out toxins, people are crying, it's crazy. And I can't remember what I manifested in there, but when I came out, this woman, I forgot her name, sadly enough. I'll find it. She was a producer, and we just started talking, and she goes, we just stayed in touch. It was just like a friendly thing. And she said, I'm producing this movie if you want to come in and read for it. So I did, and it was Virtuosity with Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe. And she gave me one line. There's a scene in the movie where Denzel Washington is going to find Russell Crowe, the criminal character, and there's all these news cameras outside downtown LA, big crowd, and I'm standing there with the camera. I was on the news crew. And Denzel walks up to me and he taps me on the shoulder and he goes, "You know where the studio is?" And I go, "Oh yeah, 38th floor."
You know what floor the studio's on? 38th floor.
I made it. Boom.
And that was it. But I got
the one-liners.
But I got to talk to him in between shooting. We were coming out of the makeup hair trailer. And I said, "Hey, Denzel, I'm a big fan of yours. And I watched Malcolm X. He had just done Malcolm X."
Yeah.
And I said, "Man, you were so great in Malcolm X. I heard you read the Quran in order to study for that part." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, the Quran? Yeah, I read it. Yeah, not cover to cover, but I read it." "Yeah, salam alaikum. Good to meet you, bro." That's my Denzel impression. Give me Denzel Washington. So, all right, so you reach out to these people. You get money, you make the movie. This is your first thing that you kind of spearheaded, right? You said you invested in other movies, but this was more your baby or your vision, right? And then, so what's next? After you put this one on the bank, do you have other projects in the pipeline that or you can't talk about them?
No, yeah. So we have Sleep Deprivation coming up, and that's with Brett Leonard. He's going to direct it.
Interesting.
Right?
How did you meet him, by the way?
Oh man. So the young lady.
If you don't know who Brett Leonard is, he's a big like action movie director.
Yeah, he does Virtuosity.
He did Virtuosity, which I was in.
God, what else has he done? Lawnmower Man.
That was it. Lawnmower Man, which also had who was in that movie? There was a famous actor in that movie
from James Bond, the Bond.
No, it was an actor who had like a small run of fame. I forgot his name. We'll find it.
Yeah.
Pull it up.
So God, I want to
Can
say
you pull him
Bronson. Bronson's his name.
Yeah, I can.
Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
No, because now it's bugging me. He had blue eyes.
Yeah, he was a Bond.
He looked like he wasn't.
He was white with blue
No,
eyes.
he looked like Russell Crowe
Watch
actually.
when he pulls it up, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god!"
He played James Bond.
Or License to Kill. What was it?
No, that's Steven Seagal.
That movie was fucking crazy.
Not like-
Yeah, 1992. That movie was nuts.
Who was the actor in it? Or the lead?
Jeff Fahey.
That's right, Jeff Fahey.
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan. Yeah.
Pierce
Jenny
Brosnan
Wright.
was in the movie.
Joffrey Lewis.
Yeah, but Jeff Fahey played the Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
the villain in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what happened to his career? He was like one of my favorite actors for a minute.
That shit was crazy.
Well, that movie held up well. I mean, it's kind of cool. So, the young lady met Brett when he was on set in Tennessee shooting Triumph with Terrence Howard.
Oh, interesting.
Right? And so she said, hey, I know some guys that are in Huntington Beach that are starting a production company. He's like, I'd love to meet them. And we just hit it off.
That's awesome.
And he gave me a shot. He's like, all right, here's the script. This is the script. This is the script that's going to like do something big for you. And I'm like, cool, Brett, but that's like 2.5 million. So listen, if I can't get 500,000 out of people, like, here, let me do this one. We win some awards, and it's just now taking off where like you see the momentum behind all the hard work, right? And so now it's like I can go in and say I'm a real producer. Like I have a film that's got 14 wins. And it's got a distribution deal. It's going to be on demand, and it looks like it's going to be coming out in August.
And where do you what awards did you win?
Oh man, we won the Culver City Film Festival. We won the grand prize there, and we've won a few more. You know, I mean, I can't even name them all. I mean, New York, we won the best feature film out of New York. New York Movie Awards. We just found out we're in the Los Angeles Film Festival.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
One more time, what's the name of it again?
The Chimera Effect.
Check it out.
So the girl goes crazy. So the Chimera Effect is a real thing. So you ever heard of a parasitic twin? Right? You ever see someone that has a green eye and a blue eye?
Yeah.
Right? So that they absorb that twin's DNA. It's a real thing, right? So her evil twin is taking over her mind. And she doesn't know it. She doesn't know what's going on with her. Her dad dies and trying to suppress it. So when her dad dies trying to suppress it, the evil twin just takes over. And then it just, I mean, this is one of those films where you're like, all right, let me see what's, it's like keeps pulling in like, all right, something's off with her. Like, what's going to happen? And then we just take you on a ride, right?
It's like single white female, man.
Oh, man, it's the story of my life. You know, it's got me here. Single white female.
Newport to Huntington.
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, if I said I live in Newport and I was married, you're like, I don't know if you had a sister over there. I mean, you know, I shot my shot. You know,
Married again, you're gonna be in Long Beach.
Married again, I can't afford it.
Do you have
I don't know how you
kids?
do. You have a son,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think you told me that.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
old's your son?
2.5.
Nice.
Yeah. He's learning to talk and really tell me how he's really feeling about dad. Like, sit,
Right.
here, Shrek. You know, all the important stuff.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
I say to my dog, okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to stand up for a second, because the first night I met you, that was the first time you went up on stage ever. See, that's so weird because you were so cool in the pocket and like
He was standing
natural.
up there like Ron White with a fucking drink in his hand, just slanging jokes.
But
No, but your swag and your charisma, and you were just kind of like talking about being a black man at Huntington Beach, and it was just funny. And then you got laughs and people clapped, and then you came back a few times, and then you disappeared for a minute.
yeah.
Because I think you were working on your movie or something.
Yeah, I was pretty stressed out.
And then you came back. You came back to Cruisers. By the way, we do Cruisers Comedy Club every Thursday. It's in Huntington Beach. Come check it out. It's free. And the last few times, so you've probably been up a total at Cruisers, what, like 4 times, 5 times?
4 or 5 times.
And then you did the the Brea Improv with us last week.
So cool. Yeah.
That was your 6th time on stage.
Absolutely.
So this brother's been on stage 6 times. And if you were to watch it, I'm not trying to toot your horn, but I'm saying, and Blake, you too. Blake's been on stage, what, 30 times now? Yeah. I've been on stage thousands of times. But these brothers are like so hungry and young and like ready to attack it. And
Super young.
but most people, if they were to watch you guys, they would be like, oh, these guys have been doing it for like 3, 4, 5 years. So kudos, man.
No, thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Same to you. Same to
Yeah,
you.
man,
Thank you
sure.
for the opportunity. Thank you.
Every week, rain or shine.
I'll be there.
Blake and I were at the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club last weekend,
Okay.
and had a little bit of a hiccup the first night. The mic didn't work,
Okay.
so thank God it was a small, audience and room, and the acoustics were good. So then I was just doing like black box theater, like talking out loud and with your hands like you're a theater actor, kind of shit.
But you were able to improvise, right? And it worked
Yeah, it was
out, right?
fun.
It worked out, right?
It was actually fun.
They
It was
were
a fun.
super receptive to it.
Cool.
To be honest, I think the crowd was a little more engaged the first night than the second night when the mic worked. It was a good. Both nights were great, but the first night, just something special about it with the mic off. It was kind of just different.
You know, it's interesting because I feel like from growing up watching comedy to where comedy's at now, you see some things that are similar, but you see a lot of things that are like has changed, right?
Who was your inspiration as a
man,
as a
like
youngster, comedically?
I mean, like I used to sneak and listen to Richard Pryor and stuff like that. I mean, we're talking about albums, like flip the album over type deal. And then I love Martin growing up.
Right.
Martin Lawrence was like,
great.
You're like, oh my! I mean, you just look at some of these guys and you're like, man, they were like stellar. I mean, Bernie Mac. Some of the guys that aren't here. Even I'm probably gonna butcher his last name, but George Carlin.
Yeah.
I thought it was just so clever. Like how he would just suck you in.
He was way ahead of his time too.
I mean,
I watch Carlin clips now, and I'm just like, that shit's relevant now. Yeah. He was way ahead of his time.
But he cast the net and didn't matter. He crossed over, cultures and brought you in and was just real.
Well, he was a white guy that sounded black. He had that kind of like, you ever talk about the thing, and he did the thing, and like if you close your eyes and didn't know who he was, he sounded like a black dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same with Blake. Close your eyes, you're talking to Blake.
Maybe.
Sound like,
You see my dance moves.
So I have a question. So when you guys have done road shows and traveled in different demographics, I mean, do you have to adjust how you're going to deliver things or what you're planning on going out there?
I always watch the audience because I go up last typically, or if I'm doing like a show with a bunch of comics. Whoever goes on before me, I always sit in the back and watch the audience, not the comic, because I want to see what the audience is laughing at and kind of gauge from there, like kind of benchmark, oh, that person did like a dirty joke and they laughed, or that person did a religious joke and they didn't laugh, or they got a ooh and a ah on this topic or whatever. So that kind of allows me to surf through the crowd a little bit with a more heightened awareness of what's going on. That's how I gauge the room. Some markets I've been to where you know what to expect. Like we were in Naples, Florida a couple weeks ago, and that's, white, Republican, red state.
I should have known. I was like, he's like, someone called 911 on me here.
That's the place where somebody called 911 on me.
And I went out.
Was in Naples, Florida.
That was my worst night I've probably had doing stand-up. I was just up there just talking.
You didn't do that bad.
I feel like I did.
You didn't have a great set, but you didn't bomb.
It was an older crowd, and then I have a lot of dating material. And there's like people in there with like double hearing aids, just old. And they don't know what a dating app is. They don't know. So a lot of my dating material was irrelevant, and I didn't realize that because it's just been working around Huntington Beach and LA and Orange County.
Right. See, that's the thing is you have to, you always have to test the waters.
Well, like a black comedy night and like a white comedy night, those would be two different things for sure. You would already know that.
Absolutely.
But then I feel like the only other thing that I've noticed big time was like the rich people crowd, like the Boca Raton crowd.
Oh yeah.
Versus just like a regular old city Miami crowd.
Different.
The rich people crowd, man.
There's entitlement. I had to kick a woman out of my show in Boca Raton because she kept on talking trash to me.
Only night I didn't record, it would have went viral.
But there was a journalist in the room. Who I'll send you the article. He actually captured the night perfectly in this article.
Yeah.
And
so everybody picks sides now. So what side did the journalist go with? Right.
With me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The article's called Ahmed Ahmed pulling the trigger, because I triggered these like white women.
Twice.
You're a brave soul.
Well, actually 3 times, because the one woman in the back was yelling and screaming, and she was a problem from the beginning because she was just loud, and I was on stage and I said something to the effect of, if women want equal opportunity, they should pick up the check equally at dinner.
And she goes, no, and she doesn't listen to the joke. She goes, I'll reach for it, and I go, bitch, if you listen to the joke, that's probably the punchline.
I wasn't even done with the punchline. I was just like in the middle of the setup, and then go ahead.
Because I was in the back and I'm listening to her. Okay, you're on stage. I'm in the back, so everything he said, first he's doing crowd work, and then she's like, "Is he being a dick? I feel like he's being a dick." And I'm like, "Bitch, this is a comedy show. Shut up." And then she keeps going, and she's trying to get people to talk to her. And then you did that joke.
And then the second one was, there were like these 3 cute girls in the second row, and I said, "What do you guys do here?" And they go, "We all go to school." I said, "Oh, what do you study?" One says marine biology, the other one says psychotherapy, whatever. The other one says business major, and I'm like, "Oh, what strip club do you work at that makes you be able to afford for all those?" Or something like that. And it got a huge laugh. And the woman goes, "You can't say that."
She goes, "You know what? Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you." She just
"Fuck
walks
you."
out. So Ahmed's like,
And I go, "Honey," "it's time for you to go." Na 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 na. Na, 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 na. And then I go to everybody. Hey.
the whole bar chimed in.
The whole
They're
bar
like,
chimed
"It's
in.
comedy, bitch. Get out of here."
I go, "One more time." Na, 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 na. And the whole, hundreds plus people, 150. She left and as she was walking out, she gave me the double fisted, "Fuck you." About 10 minutes later, there's another white woman in the audience. When I'm doing the 911 story, how somebody called 911 on me, she goes, "What'd she say again?"
Okay, you said, "Wow, feels whatever in here." You go, "Any questions?" Just fucking around rhetorically.
Right.
And then she goes, and then you go, "Any concerns?" And she goes, she raised her hand, and you go, "Oh, that's cool. People don't usually raise their hands
That's
at
polite.
comedy shows."
Yeah.
And you were being nice, and then she goes, "You know what? Like, when you talked about 9/11, those people trained here, and like people died." And you go, "What the fuck? I didn't do any 9/11 jokes. Like, you just heard what you wanted to hear," and she did.
And then she kept on like chiming in, and
He said someone called 911 on me.
I started razzing. I said, "No, honey, you took it out of context. Somebody called 911 on me." I said, "Are you paying attention to the fucking?" I said, "If you're gonna pay for anything at this show, pay for some fucking attention." Jesus, Allah. So then the husband started going like this, wrap it up, like to me, and I go, "Are you telling me to wrap it up, sir?" Now I started. Look, I get defensive as a comic sometimes. I'm like, "Don't tell me how to do my fucking job, all right? I've been doing this 30 years. Don't fucking go to your house. Don't ever do that." I would never go to your job and go, "Come on. You don't do that."
Not his wife. He's not. It's not.
No. Now the husband's
telling you. He's not telling the wife. He's like, "Listen, I'd rather fight him than deal with this."
So then that happened. Anyway, the show ends, and we all go over to the bar, and I see that table of white people like get up with the woman who did the 911 thing, and they walk past me. And I'm not as tall as you, but I'm like I'm a tall guy.
Absolutely.
I think people think I look short on stage for some reason, because every time I come off stage, people always go, "Oh shit, I didn't realize you're so tall," And I think they just kind of looked at me, and I just kind of looked at them and gave them like a, "I'm cool if you guys are cool," and they just were like, "We'll never come back here again."
Cool, we don't fucking
You lost
care
those
anymore.
fans.
Sorry. Yo, before we wrap up, what's your Instagram and what's your best Hollywood tale?
My Instagram is B Johnson CGM, Charlie George Mike.
All right.
Yeah.
And
Best.
what's your funniest, best, most dramatic? It doesn't have to happen. It didn't have to happen in Hollywood. It could have happened somewhere else, but something
Maybe something
Hollywood,
related.
yeah, industry related, Hollywood related, a funny story, an absurd thing that happened, a celebrity sighting. What's your best Hollywood tale?
Man, so this is a good one. You guys know who Dan Marino is, right?
Of course.
Right? So
Yeah.
I'm on my first vacation ever as a kid, and I'm probably like 14 years old, and we're in Fort Lauderdale, and we're at the hotel.
I like how you're starting out the story already, like something bad probably happened.
And I'm at the pool. I'm a brother that can swim.
I just found out my girlfriend can't swim and she can't ride a fucking bike.
Man, you got some work to do.
Ivana
Ooh,
can't.
like, yeah, I got to do it.
She can't swim.
Yeah.
She can't bike or swim.
When you start that train, I'll send my son too. And you can just get a package deal.
She barely saw Forrest Gump. I put her on it 2 days ago. We watched Forrest
She
Gump
seems
for
like
the
one of
first
those
time.
gals who's gonna win a triathlon next year because you made fun of her over it.
Oh, she'll do it too. She's got that little woman syndrome. Like, I can fucking do it, motherfucker. I'll do it.
So 14 years old, I see Dan Marino. He's at training camp, and he's staying at our hotel. And so I'm like, oh my God.
So you're in Florida. I'm sorry.
I'm in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
I'm staying. So we're on vacation at the same hotel that he's staying at during training camp. And so I'm like, oh man, that's Dan Marino. I gotta go get an autograph. He's like one of my favorite. And he was like, I was like, hey Dan, I had like, a napkin and a pen. I'm like, can I get your autograph? And he's like, get out of here, kid.
Damn.
I'm like, damn, like it just was like
It's such a moment of like that's an after school. That's like a bred out of a movie.
so probably whenever like the Super Bowl was in Arizona, and this is probably 10 years ago. 12 years ago. And I'm going to a Super Bowl party, and it's a Sports Illustrated party. And now I'm like 6'5", I'm young.
How old are you now?
I'm 41.
No. When you go to the party.
Oh, like this, so 10 years ago, like 30,
Okay.
31,
Okay.
30,
You grew up.
Yeah. And I had a couple of drinks in me, and I'm walking into Sports Illustrated, and I'm like, oh, it's like Reggie Bush, and da-da-da-da-da. And so, like, walking by, my boy's like, oh, shit, that's Dan Marino. And I'm like this, yo, fuck you, Dan. I'll fuck you up. And everybody like, damn, what you got beef with Dan Marino for and shit like that? I'm like, yo, motherfucker wouldn't sign my autograph when I was 14. You don't do that shit to kid, Dan. And he was looking at me like, he grabbed his drink like, what the fuck
He's
is...
like, yeah, I'm working on
like,
it.
what
I
the...
used to be an asshole.
Like, what is he talking about? And just walked past me, and I'm like, I would fuck Dan Marino up. And then everybody's like, who the fuck is this dude? Like, he just cussed Dan. And so I don't know if Dan remembers that.
Off for sure.
Yeah, they asked me to like go to the other side of the party for a minute because it was just it was just funny. Like, so I'm like, hey, you need to treat kids better, man. So that's one of my Hollywood tales.
Bro, that is a great Hollywood tale.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
No, you came back to avenge him, man.
I mean, but I'm
He
pretty
didn't
sure.
avenge him, but
I'm pretty sure he was like, he didn't think the little. He probably has no idea. He probably was like, man, it was just an angry black man. He didn't
know he affected you 15 years earlier or whatever.
Absolutely.
That happened. That's the sad thing about society is you never know if you can hurt somebody, not even know. He may have just been having a bad
day, right?
But still, if maybe you like approached him shitty. I don't know.
No, I'm from Joliet. I think it's like this is like the Michael Jordan of throwing the football at the time. Like this is Dan Marino.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
I think he. I always try to treat people with kindness because you never know. Like that kid's gonna grow up to be the fucking president one day, or this person's gonna be this powerful, and and you always remember shit. That's some almost like not childhood trauma, but like those memories stick with you, and then you subliminally kind of keep them, buried, and then when you come face to face with your nemesis or whatever, that's your time. You had a window of opportunity. but the fact that you didn't say, hey man, 15 years ago I was just a young teenager and I was starstruck.
Oh.
You went straight out. Yo, fuck you, Dan Marino.
Honestly, fuck Dan Marino.
Yo, everybody, that's been our latest episode of Hollywood Tales. Brandon Johnson, thank you for making time, my
Thank you
brother.
for the opportunity.
Appreciate
Always. Ahmed, thank you so much.
Ahmed, man.
My co-host,
Blake Barty, how's it going? Yep.
big thanks to Wolf Ramirez over here running everything behind the scenes. Also,
Wolf.
big thanks to Jake Trainer, Jake Kotler, Dave. Is it Bass? Sorry. Bell. Sorry, I'm just had a brain fart. Dave Bell, the guys, Dave and Jake, who own this place. If you haven't been here, come check out this place. Jam in the Van. It's on Motor Avenue between Pico and Venice. It's a multiplex building that's got live music, live comedy, podcast studio. It's a really fun place. They record live music here too. Go to jaminthevan.com. Hollywood Tales will be on its own YouTube channel soon, so just go to Hollywood Tales podcast on YouTube soon. In the meantime, you can go to Jam in the Van on YouTube and subscribe there. And check us out at Cruisers every Thursday night in Huntington Beach. Free show, comedy. Anything else you want to plug?
Hey, just check out the movie when it comes out. It's going to be on demand, like I said, either August or October. The Chimera Effect. It's also on Instagram as well. The Chimera Effect movie. Thank you.
We'll throw up a little
At Blake Barty Comedy.
movie poster.
Instagram.
And I'm at Ahmed Ahmed Comedy on Instagram. AHMED Comedy. And that's it. Peace
Thank
out.
you.
See you next
Thank
time,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you so much.
so fun, dude.
Thank you so much. Thank you
That's
so
one
much.
of the